Hey, good morning everyone. So welcome to this all new type of video, a full video game breakdown. The goal of this is to check a game, a section of a game actually, and break it down into all its different elements and figure out why it is either freaking amazing or a big pile of steaming shit. So, the first game we're gonna go through is Breath of the Wild, more specifically the prologue of Breath of the Wild. And the way we're gonna do this is that we're gonna go into 3 different parameters and figure out all the different elements that are part of them to see how they align and how they make us feel, how we feel while playing it. The first one is the gameplay variety. So that will define all the different actions the player does throughout the game, from exploring the environment to solving puzzles, fighting monsters, or even watching cutscenes. Then we have the rewards. So every time we congratulate the player for doing something complex, and rewards don't need to be a quest item or piece of equipment. It can be something as simple as a cutscene after finishing a boss fight. Then we will check the tutorials. So every time we stop the player's flow to teach them something. So yeah, we're gonna be looking at how we tutorialize stuff and how much it impacts the player's progression. Then we will be looking at the difficulty, or more importantly, the perceived difficulty. So it's not the actual complexity of input that matters, is how the player at that specific point finds it to be challenging or difficult. For example, you can have a super simple puzzle at some point, but you need to learn new controls and the rules of that mechanic, so it will be a bigger challenge than it would have been if you were doing the exact same puzzle at the end of the game. And the final one that we'll be looking at, the most important one, and which is a kind of an agglomeration of everything else, is the emotional intensity. That's the one you should keep an eye on while we do the playthrough. That will show us how you're feeling, how a player should be feeling at that specific moment based on all the other parameters, and give us a good idea of the game spacing and how engaging or annoying it can be at certain points. If you want an in-depth look at every color that you see here and the meaning of every line and examples and everything, be sure to go check the breakdown intro in the playlist. You should have a link over here or in the description below. I think that's it. We can start this cool breakdown and hopefully it's gonna be fun and we're gonna discover stuff about Breath of the Wild. Let's do this. Okay, let's start. So first thing first, every game will always start with a bonus point for starting excitement. And here in Breath of the Wild, just the sound and the FX presented on the title screen are enough to give you a small boost of excitement. So we start, if you look at the emotional intensity curve, at about 20. Now the cutscene starts, and it's a bit subdued, so it falls down on the emotional intensity side. But as you start seeing this light and start hearing sound, you get some kind of curiosity or intrigue. So you start being interested in what you see. So here we see the intensity is going up a little bit.
Open your eyes.
Oh, so now it keeps going up because we're wondering what that is. What is that thing? Am I in a spaceship?
Wake up, Link.
I'm still intrigued. Okay. I'm waking up. So the now the emotional intensity is dropping a bit because I'm getting accustomed to what I saw. Now our brain goes into analyzing mode. We look at the room, try to figure out what it is, so the emotion is getting down a bit. We're still interested. Now we see a bigger shot of the room, so we start analyzing even more, and then we get a call to action showing us the next objective. So that piques our interest. So the emotional intensity raises a bit. And now we're finally in gameplay. So now it's exciting. It's the first time we control Link. We discover our controls, get close to the terminal, examine it. Oh, so now our interest has peaked a little bit.
That is a Sheikah slate. Take it.
So here we get a reward. We get the Sheikah slate. It's not an exciting reward, but it's an intriguing reward. We don't know what it is. It creates some sort of mystery. We got a tutorial, but it wasn't that annoying because it's a tutorial that that happens with a reward. So we got something out of it. Now the door opens, so yay, we can get out. So the intensity raises a bit, and we see chest right in front of us. And here I'll make a small pause, but this is freaking brilliant. If you look at the tutorial area, we have a tutorial here, but it's a green tutorial, which means it's kind of what we would call a diegetic tutorial. It's part of the environment. It's not a tutorial that stops you and tells you what it is. They just place the chest right in front of you. So instinctively, when you walk by, you interact with it and open it. You don't need to have a screen that tells you to open chest, walk next to it and press the action button. No. It's all suggested. It's not flat out told to you. And it gives you a super cool reward at the same time. So this allows the emotional intensity to peak a bit because you get new equipment piece and you learned what chests were. So now you're kind of excited about it. Here you get a small free screen tutorial, which is normally a bit frustrating to get, but now you're already stopped. So it doesn't stop your progress. You get the tutorial at the end of a small, let's call it a cutscene, even if it's not a big cinematic. So that tutorial goes well. Here you have other diegetics tutorial. You just learned that you can interact with stuff by pressing A with the chest. So you roam around, find the barrels, and decide to throw them as well by pressing the same button.
Hold the Sheikah slate up to the pedestal.
And here
That will show
you had an objective to do. That was to get to the pedestal, but it wasn't stated that it was an objective. You did it on your own, so you kind of feel clever. Here you've got a cutscene, which seems to be the same cutscenes as before, and it's kind of boring, so the excitement and the emotional intensity drops until the door opens in the cinematic, and now you see the exterior. So now your interest is rising up again. So you see, every time the excitement drops, they find a way to bring it back up very quickly.
You are the light. Our light.
So yeah, you see the exterior, you really want to get out of that place, so it gets exciting. So yes, you see the exterior completely, you want to get it. Oh, now you've got a sprint tutorial. Nice, I can run even faster. But then I get stopped by my stamina. That's another very cool tutorial. They timed the length of the run so that when you arrive at the wall, you don't have stamina, so that you need to learn that it needs to refill in order to be able to climb it. And now you get out, and of course, you get the amazing reveal. So now the emotional intensity peaks because you get that awe-inspiring shot of Hyrule Kingdom with a castle, a volcano, a forest, and then even a weird temple that stands out a lot, and an old man that keeps you intrigued and interested, and it tells you that you probably need to go talk to him without giving you the objective to do so. And that's something very important in Breath of the Wild. Very rarely they will give you a straight out objective. You don't need to do anything. They They give you suggestions, and then you decide if you want to do it or not. And a small detail also, the shot of the exterior, I'll go back a little bit. As you get close to the exit, nothing is left to chance in this. As you get close, they made absolutely sure that the vista that you see is not a boring, flat area. You've got a volcano in the middle of the screen in the outside that is perfectly framed by the trees in the foreground. So the contrast of color make it stand out even more. So it keeps piquing interest and making you want to reach it as fast as possible. So now, again, a very clever tutorialization here. They just place an object that shines right on your path in front of you to attract your attention and make you want to pick it up. Again, you don't have to pick it up. It's an option. That's why here it's in Why here it's in brown yellow. But you get a tree branch and you get your first freeze tutorial of how to fight, the input for the fight. And something that you'll notice also in this game is that most of the time when they use the dreaded freeze panel to show a tutorial, it will rarely be more than 5 words, and usually accompanying an image that explains the situation more than a text that you have to read. So now you've got your weapon, and also the pacing and the placement and the time of the different tutorial panels is very important. Like here, you didn't get stopped in your flow. You decided to pick up the branch, so you stopped your own flow to pick it up, and then you got the tutorial appear. So it's not like you walked, and then while you were walking, you got interrupted with a panel that said, oh, you can pick up branches to make weapons out of it. That would have been fucking annoying. But now, the tutorial was triggered by your input, so you don't get interrupted, and that's super important. So now, of course, I swing my sword, so I'm again excited. It's the first weapon I get, and now I discover new stuff, and it's super important. They keep giving you stuff and new stuff. Here I get a second weapon. So again, I'm excited. Now I know that I have multiple weapons and that I'll get them fast. So I keep going towards the old man. I lose stamina. So now the intensity is dropping a bit. Oh, and I find a baked apple. I wonder what that is. And now he interrupts me. So that's kind of a funny moment. I get a chuckle out of that. Now he starts talking. He starts talking a bit much. So while I read that, it can be interesting, but my emotional intensity gets dragged down. So now he talks. Now I see a big temple, so that it's really cool, and I recognize it as being the Temple of Time. So now my excitement is rising a little bit. Okay, so now back to gameplay. Oh, I find a torch. So that excites me, but he interrupts me. So again, I get a bit annoyed because I got interrupted, but it's not that bad because those cutscenes don't last too long. It lasts maybe 10 seconds. So now that it started going down, I keep going. And here I find a big fucking axe, so that raises my excitement even a bit higher. So now, another great example of diegetic tutorialization. It's the first Korok puzzle. So it piques my interest. I saw a circle of lily pads or lily flowers. I'm not sure, and it seems out of place. So I want to go check it, regardless of what's going on and what my objective is. But it's very cleverly placed right in a straight line between my starting point with the old man and the Temple of Time that seems to be my objective. And yet again, the objective is not clearly stated and is not worded on screen. It's just he told me, oh, yeah, there's that temple over there, go there. And on the way to get there in a straight line, there are tons of little spot of point of interest. So seeing that that flower circle, I jump in it and realize that there's a Korok coming out. So that makes me excited. I'm happy to have figured out how to solve the puzzle, and I get my first Korok seed. I don't know what it is, but I'm intrigued. And you can see the difficulty there. The blue line is the mental challenges, and the red line is the physical challenges. So this was both a mental and physical challenge, if you look at it, because mental, I needed to figure out what was that puzzle, what was the rules of it, and physical, because I needed to learn the proper controls to jump into the water. And I also got a diegetic tutorial of swimming. Again, they very cleverly put the water pond between the old man and the Temple of Time to make sure that you would cross it, and put a ton of interesting things to do on the way, being the Korok puzzle, a sword in the stone, and a rubble on the ground. And you'll notice also for the difficulty that the blue and red gets up when I'm just walking around. That is because in this game, every time you run around, it's never clear 100% where you need to go. You need to understand where you want to go, and there are always obstacles up on your way. Oh, sorry. Now I get interrupted by a voice, so I'm intrigued. I wonder what that is. And then I realize it's a tutorial for map markers, so my excitement immediately drops back down. But again, it's not that bad because it lasts maybe 5 seconds, so even though my excitement dropped, I'm still intrigued by what's going on, and I want to keep going towards the temple. And now I find my first enemy. I start whacking it, but then realize the fight is not the same as previous Zelda game, so I get my ass kicked, and that would count as a difficulty spike, because it's the first time I fight that type of enemy, and I get my ass kicked, and that's actually the first time I died when I played the game for the first time a long time ago. So that was a boost in both excitement and difficulty, and then you get a ton of rewards, including a new weapon, so that's exciting. Now I'm happy. Now we've got a small cooldown while I keep going towards my objective that now appeared on my map. So yeah, the excitement cools down a bit, and here I arrive at a crossroad. I see a place with a bokoblin, and then I see my objective. So I have the choice of going to the right and keep going towards my objective, or go fight the bokoblin. Because I want to test my skills, I'm gonna go to the bokoblin. And I start fighting him, so we've got a small spike in physical challenge. But then I realize it's way easier now that I know how it works. Now I open a chest and I find a new equipment piece, so that's exciting. It boosts up the emotional intensity a little bit. So you can see the emotional intensity curve goes down and then right back up. Every time it goes down, they find a way to make it peak again. So here it was going down, but now I find a Bokoblin encampment. But this time around, I see a big boulder, and I see explosive barrels. So I wonder if I can do something with it. I push the boulder. Oh no, don't tell me it works. Yes, it works! And so that feeling of doing something amazing that you thought might work but wasn't sure, but yes, it does, creates a peak in emotional intensity. And that if you look at the challenge area or the difficulty, that challenge was... Hey, I lost my cursor. That challenge was more of a mental challenge because I approached the situation in a puzzly way more than a fight way. Now I was going, sorry, I'm gonna pause it a little bit. As I was going to collect rewards, I spotted a dungeon, or what seemed to be a dungeon, to the to the ill-advised mind. But I decided that I'd better go to my objective first before I go venture too far away, so I turned back. Oh, and I forgot to say it at the beginning, but the way I'm playing it here, because the Breath of the Wild is a very expansive game that you can tackle in any order and pretty much any way you want. So here, what we're gonna do is pretty much follow the golden path. Golden path being, let's follow the objectives. And then I'm playing like a player who never played it before. Okay, so here we keep going. We spot a Bokoblin, so yeah, that's gonna be easy. I'm just gonna whack him. Oh shit, there's a second one. So here I have a little increase in difficulty, but I find my first bow, so now I'm a bit excited because I got a new reward, a new type of weapons. Oh shit, I realized that it needs ammo, so here we've got an increase in difficulty, both mental and physical, because I need to learn the new controls, and I need to understand the logic between behind arrows and bows and all that stuff. Okay, right, we get stopped to get taught how to swap bows, and then I decide to attack that guy and get a headshot, my first headshot. Yay. First shield. Again, we get stopped, so now my emotional intensity is decreasing as I reach my objective. And when I finally interact with it, now I'm happy to have completed the objective at last. But then it really drops because I think that is the same old boring cutscene of the pedestal that I saw already 3 times in the Shrine of Resurrection. So, all right, I've already seen this. Get to something else. All right. But then, all of a sudden, shit breaks loose. So, it captures my attention again. They really play with expectations when they start a cutscene. And kababoom, explosion. That is always an emotional peak. When something big happens all of a sudden. And now I'm intrigued by all that's going on. Wow. Wow. The Great Plateau Tower. So this is also a tutorial that will teach me how the map works, but the interesting thing here is that I also get my first map upgrade, so that creates excitement. So yeah, that excitement was the little peak over here. But after that, it it turns back down. Until another epic cinematic starts.
Try to remember. You have been asleep for the past 100 years. The beast. When the beast regains
Oh,
its true
what is
power,
that?
this world will face its end.
Oh yeah, seeing Ganon for the first time, that's a small peak in excitement.
Now then, you must hurry, Link. Before it's too late.
Nice. Now I'm free to go. I can start exploring. So now we have a small mental challenge where I need to figure out how to get down that tower. And here we have a small physical challenge, because that's the second time I died the first time I played, because I was just throwing myself off and I I got killed by that. Alright, it's starting to get a bit annoying. Oh, and now I'm interrupted by a cutscene. So now my excitement drops drastically. And he talks a lot. And here we're just repeating what just happened. So it's a bit annoying. So while we're at it, and while he's talking, just very quickly, so you know, in the variety area, the pink blocks are cutscenes, but active cutscenes. So cutscenes that you need to pass with an input. Either dialogue choices, or get to the next bubble, or anything, but it needs to be active. The yellow, no, yellow. The soft pink, actually, is a cutscene where you have nothing to do. So you just drop the controller and listen to a story. Green is exploration and navigation, so that's active gameplay. Red is combat, and blue is puzzle solving. Cool. Now we've got the tutorial, but again, the tutorial is fine because it's at the end of a cutscene. During the cutscene, when it was at its lower point here, you can see that they right away showed me something cool during the cutscene so that it would catch my interest back. That being the castle surrounded by darkness. So now in yellow, dark yellow here, it's a go-to. So I need, it's a follow NPC gameplay. So that was a bit annoying. Alright, can I go to the shrine now, please? Alright, cool. Now we go. So now it peaks as I start gameplay again. Here is another very clever diegetic tutorialization. Basically, they put water between the old man and the shrine. So, and it's a long stretch of water that you will want to dash through. But as you dash through, you realize your stamina is draining really fast. So it's a tutorial teaching you to manage your stamina when you're in water. But it's a soft tutorial, it's hidden. You don't know it's a tutorial, it's just instinctive. And now we finally arrive at the shrine, so we're super excited to finally open it. Okay, small cutscene, and it's the same cutscene as before, so it's a bit annoying, but I know it's short, so it doesn't bother me too much. Cool. So now I get in, and we have a loading. Another cutscene and a loading. So when cutscenes and loadings succeed each other, emotional intensity drops. But then it goes back up, because I'm looking at my first shrine. I'm wondering what that is. I see a terminal, so I go interact with it. And now, again, the same cutscene. That's annoying. Alright. Oh, and that. Okay, so that must be a map. Since it's the same animation as just before, I'm thinking this is probably a map that will show me the inside of the dungeon. Oh, but no! It's a new mechanic. It's I've got a new power now. That's interesting. That piques my interest. Again, they subverted expectations by using the same animations as just before, but to give you something different this time. Now we've got a small puzzle that has both physical and mental challenge in it, because you need to learn new controls and new mechanics and the rules surrounding it. So that's what this peak was over here. Here you've got another small puzzle. So that was a small mental challenge, but not much. And here you see your first guardian enemy. So that's a peak in physical challenge and perceived physical challenge, because he shoots lasers at you and you were not expecting that. So that's a little peak in excitement. Oh, then we arrive at a puzzle where we need to understand what to do. Alright, so I figured it out. Now, I'm excited. Nice. Open the big door. Oh, and now I see a monk. I'm intrigued. What is that? Now, yeah, that cutscene is surprising the first time you see it. I'm like, ooh, pretty. And as the cutscene keeps going, and as I need to read more text, the excitement diminishes a little bit. It diminishes, but since it's the first time I finish a dungeon, I'm still intrigued. First Spirit Orb, what is that? So yeah, I get a first reward after completing a shrine. I don't know what it is for, but I'm still excited because it's the first time I get one. And now, as I get a loading screen, my excitement goes very low. And as I get interrupted once again by the old man, it drops even more. Alright, alright, alright. So here I answer Paraglider, please, to shut him up and say, okay, stop talking, I want my Paraglider. So that made me giggle, so I have a little boost in excitement here. And now he just keeps yapping and yapping and yapping and yapping. And yapping and yapping. Yeah, so now my excitement even drops below 0. So it goes into the annoyed range. Because yeah, the excitement can go below 0. It ranges from minus 100 to 100. Negative numbers mean that I'm either bored, annoyed, frustrated, and the positive numbers mean that I'm excited, intrigued, curious, having fun. So yeah. Now he keeps blabbering, but now he teaches me about fast travel. Now that I know that fast travel is a thing, I get intrigued and excited a little bit because I won't have to run around every time I want to get somewhere. Oh, wrong button. So now I teleport to the tower I just went on. So yeah, I can fast travel. Oh, but there are loadings. So now my excitement drops a bit. But it gets back up when I see the old man is already there. Now I'm surprised. And here, I'm not annoyed by talking with him because I decided to talk with him. He didn't interrupt my flow. But now I realize he's gonna give me a tutorial about the scope. So my excitement goes down a little bit. Okay, so now I actually need to play with the scope and figure things out. So I take out the scope for the first time, and oh, I spot a shrine right in front of me. So I want to put a marker on it. So here I have a physical and mental challenge because I need to learn control and find the shrines in the environment. It's a very small challenge, but it's still one. I'm looking for the final shrine. Oh, there it is. And I don't even need to talk to him. Now I can just get back to my business. So I get out of the tower and go looking for a shrine. Okay, now I'm getting a bit annoyed because it's the same path I took last time and it's a bit redundant. Okay. So now I know where my shrine is. I put my own icon on it. It's not an icon stated by the game. So I'm going in its direction, finding my own way. And I'm excited to find it at last. Oh, and while we're at it, just quickly, I'm gonna go just explain what the rewards are. Very, very quickly. The rewards here, every time you see a square, a rectangle on that line, means that you're getting a reward. The green ones mean you're excited. It's an exciting reward that you're happy to get. The blue ones are intriguing reward, so you don't necessarily know what it is or what it does, but it keeps the mystery going, so you're intrigued. The yellow is an interesting reward, so it's a reward that is useful, but you're not particularly excited about it. So, it's cool, but I'm not passionate about that. Then the gray rewards are the boring rewards. So something you get, but you really don't care that much about it. Oh, and while we're at it, tutorials. They're split into 2 rows. The first row is how the tutorial is shown to the player, and the second row is how the player interacts with that tutorial. So the way the tutorial is showed is it not showed at all? Is it just placed on your way and you interact with it if you want? Is it in yellow a tutorial that is a prompt? So you've got a prompt that appear on screen, but not specific text or not specific indication as to what to do with it. Then you've got the orange tutorials. These are the ones with text on screen. So you will have a block of text that appears on screen explaining something, but you don't need to do what's written. And then the red ones are the one that freezes you. So that's the freeze screen tutorials that will freeze you in place. And then the way you interact with the tutorials, that's the most important part. In green means that you don't have to interact with it at all. It's placed on your way. You can interact with it if you want. You're encouraged to do it by the context and the situation, but you don't have an objective telling you to do it. Then you have the yellow, the dark yellow ones, which are the ones where you're told what can be done with it, with the ingredient, but you're not forced to do it. Then you have the dark brown, which are the gated ones, which will block you in an area with an object, an ingredient that blocks your path, and you need to get rid of the ingredient in order to get through. But you're not told how to do it. Like the Magnesis puzzle we just had, you had to take the first metal plate and move it, but you didn't get told that you needed to do it. You just got Magnesis, got a metal plate, and you needed to figure it out by yourself. And then the red, that's the bad kind of tutorial. It's the tutorial that tells you exactly what you need to do and how to do it, and you need to do it in order to progress to the next objective. So yeah, sorry about that. Let's keep going. All right, I spot my shrine. So now I'm excited. I start running towards the shrine. Yay, 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 yay. Oh, what is that? Cutscene. You seem ominous. Ah, it's a guardian. Ah, okay, that seems bad. I run. Okay, I don't care. Okay, whew. So here we got a super huge increase in difficulty. Because it's one of the hardest enemy in the game that's placed at the beginning, but to teach you that you don't have to fight them, you can just run away. So that was a big spike in intensity. But since I managed to get out and not get frustrated by it, it was good excitement. I never got frustrated or annoyed in any way. But yeah, that exploded the difficulty, the red difficulty line. Now we get in our second. Whoops, sorry. Now we get in our second shrine. Okay, we get the terminal. Been there, done that. It's the same cutscene. Yes, 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 I know I'm gonna get something. What am I gonna get? Remote bombs. That's nice. So now I've got a little peak in interest in the intensity curve because I get a bomb, and now I need to understand how the bomb works, how the control works, and what to do with them. So there's a little peak in challenge, but it's not a big challenge. It's moderate. All right, explosion. Now I keep going. Oh, I find another cracked wall. Nice. A claymore. That's nice. But now you can see, when I get a new weapon, I don't get as excited as before, because now I'm accustomed to it, and I know that I'm gonna find a big gazillion of those everywhere, so it's not a big thing to get a weapon. So yeah, now we add a little peak in difficulty again with that puzzle. So now we're investigating the area, wondering what to do. Oh, there's a chest over there, and that's a very good tutorialization. On the right, you have a... you just see a ball moving from one side to the next by being thrown with the catapults. So you understand the principle. And then you do it on yourself, and it actually works. So that creates a peak in excitement also. Over here. Okay, so now we need to figure out how that puzzle works. Alright, nice! Explosion. Explosion gave me a little boost. And now, onward to the end. Now I watch the same cutscene as before, so my excitement drops a little bit. And I wonder if I can skip it, and I can, so alright. I guess I'm gonna be skipping them from now on. So now loading screen, again the excitement drops. Alright, alright. Okay, back out. Now I can start exploring again. And I don't get interrupted by an old man, so now I'm happy. Okay, where to now? Let's get there. Oh, I misaligned my graph. Okay, so now there's another guardian, so I panic a little bit and I try to get away. Oof. That was close. So here we had a small bit of excitement at that point. And right after the guardian, now I get attacked by magic enemy that spawn out of nowhere. And also they have a special way to get rid of them, because you need to destroy the head. So that is also a bit of a difficulty spike over here. So that was Guardian, and then that was Stalbokoblins. So now I keep going towards my next shrine, which is very evident right in front of me. And I spot a camp of bokoblins. So I fight the bokoblins. Alright, let's keep going. Pick up some crap. Get a tutorial about the new shield. Okay, so let's keep going. But now I spot a cabin, so that piques my interest a little bit. As you can see here. What is that? And as I turn the corner to get through the door, I see the old man. So now I talk to him, get a bit of information. Now I learn about cooking. So, yeah, that's interesting. Spicy peppers. That's something new. Here, we read the book. So while we read, the interest like the intensity of emotion drops a little bit. All right, I don't have what it takes to do that recipe, but I'll keep it in mind. Let's keep exploring the cabin. All right, back to the shrine. Just let's keep going, let's keep going. Oh, that's a big crevice. And now that I see that I can't go, so I wonder how I can make it to the other side. So instead of just jumping like an idiot, I decide to follow the cliff and make my way around. So that, you can see, is a little peek in a mental challenge because I wondered where to go. Here I decided to snipe the bokoblin instead of attacking him, so that's again a mental challenge. Oh, but here the bokoblin spots me, so I decide to fight them head on. So that's where it transitions from a physical challenge, from a mental challenge to a physical challenge. And now I got a little peak in excitement because it's my first locked chest that get unlocked by clearing a camp. Okay, a throwing spear. Why not? Not super exciting, but I'll take it. So here I'm still wondering how I can make my way up. Here you have a rush room that kind of guides me towards the path to take. I go up, and I keep following the cliff. It's still too high for me to be able to climb it, so I'll just keep following it. All right. Now, as I keep going, my excitement is diminishing a lot. But then I get ambushed by bokoblin. So yeah, my intensity of emotion rises a bit. So does the challenge, but this time it's less than the first time around because I know how to get rid of them. So instead of being high up here, it's a lot lower, even if it's the same group of enemies. So now, that's very clever. As I cross the corner, I see a big gate over here that attracts my attention and tells me, go that way. It's a very clear signposting with the stairs also just in front of it. So that, in theory, attracts the attention of the player. And also, very cleverly, when I approach the door frame, I see a shrine right in the middle. So that's not up to chance. That's purposeful placement. When I get into the door frame, I see the shrine, so that gives me an indication of where I need to go. Okay, now I get told that it's getting dangerously low temperature. So I get ambushed by stall bokoblins, so I get rid of those. But then I start wondering And you can see that is somewhat of a puzzle in itself. How can I cross that area without getting killed by the cold? Well, I get spicy peppers, and I remember what I read in the cabin of the old man. So I try to find a place where I could cook to make myself a warming meal. And there's one place just next to that area. So that again is very intentional, it's not random. So let's kill the bokoblins. Again, there's a challenge, a physical challenge for killing the bokoblins, but now it's almost nothing. The first bokoblin was super high, and now those bokoblins, even if there are more of them, is super low. So now I need to think of lighting up a fire. So that's another puzzle. It's the first time I light a fire. I need to think about it. So that is a small challenge because it's the first time. And now we're gonna cook. So again, a small challenge for cooking because I need to get accustomed to, with the controls and learn how it works. And here I do a couple more because I'm telling myself that I might not have enough if I go with just one. And now, at first, when I did my first cook, my excitement was high because the animation and the music is fun, but as I'm getting to my third, it's dropping. So I decide to stop that and go into the next area. Okay, now let's eat it. So now I eat my meal and realize I've got cold resistance, so I've got a little raise in excitement. And I keep going, first toward the shrine that I see over there. And then I realize the path is kind of blocked. So I look around for something, and I spot a path here that is very clearly framed by the trees on the side. So it's very well indicated. I could have taken the boat to reach the other shrine. I could have done a lot of different things. But since that seemed like the path of least resistance, that's where I decide to go. And in level design, the path of least resistance means the area with the least, with a smaller ratio of challenge versus time. Now, let's keep going up. So now, as I get up, I get spotted by bokoblins and decide to fight them off. And again, now bokoblin fights are pretty much nothing in terms of challenge. So they don't help boost the excitement. It keeps the interest level in the mid-range because I have something to do and I'm intrigued, but yeah, I'm not excited about them anymore. Yeah, that's a boring reward. Rewards in gray mean boring rewards, so a reward that I really don't care about anymore. So this reward was more of a just there to guide me, but I really don't care about it. Now we've got other bokoblins. And this time around, I decide to be clever about it, and I use bombs to blow everything up. So that was more of a mental challenge than a physical challenge, but it was still a bit physical because I needed to properly aim my bombs and stuff. So yeah, that one qualified as a puzzle more than a fight. So I keep going, I follow my icon right now. Oh, and I spot the shrine. Yay! So here I've got a little pique in interest and curiosity because I want to get to the shrine. Shrine. Now I get curious about what that is. That was to show the concept of a tease. But I forgot later. So basically they give me something that I can't interact with there, so that when I get out of the shrine I remember that I can do something with it. So now we get a little loading. And I put in a reward here, but I think it's a mistake, so don't mind it, please. Okay, same old cutscene, so even so now I'm getting a bit bored, but I'm anticipating a new item, so... Well, a new item, a new power, so that's cool. What is it? What is it? What is it? Oh, it's Stasis. Okay. Wonder what that does. So now, puzzle time. So I need to figure out how Stasis works. Ooh, that's cool. So yeah, I've got a pique in interest. Now they cut my interest. Oh shit! A big boulder. That's hard. So here I've got a bit of a physical challenge because I've got a time limit. Because I don't want to get crushed by the big boulder. So that was a little peak, and a little peak in excitement as well. Okay, so that's another very clever tutorialization. They just put an object in your way, and you need to figure out what to do with it. So yeah. Now I see the big thing just exploding away, so that creates a little bit of excitement. I was like, holy shit, that's cool. And now just keep going towards the monk. Okay, let's skip that. Alright, Spirit Orb, thank you very much. I don't really care. Because yeah, now the Spirit Orb, I get it. It went from being a green to being a blue to now being a yellow. So it's the kind of reward that now I'm not excited about it anymore. I just know it's useful. So, but I've grown accustomed to getting one. Now, we've tried to figure out where we're going. Yeah, that's where I forgot about the boulder I wanted to show earlier. But all right. So now I follow my icon. I figure that this is low enough for me to be able to reach it with the current stamina level. Alright, let's keep going. Ooh, boulder. I don't know why I'm doing that. It's just there's an ingredient in my way. I decide to interact with it just for fun. Because even if I was doing this run with purpose, I don't know, my ADHD brain still gets sidetracked by stuff sometimes. Oh, so here I spot an enemy up there. So that's another diegetic tutorial where they're gonna teach me very cleverly that different colored enemies have different toughness. So here I see a bokoblin. I don't necessarily notice right away that he's different, but when I start hitting him and he doesn't lose any health, I make the correlation in my mind that, oh, the color and the health must be related. Then we get a little reward that I really don't care about. So yeah, that's a reward that I really don't care about. And the fight itself with the blue bokoblin was a little difficulty spike. But not that much, because I ended up throwing him off the cliff to kill him. And he didn't manage to hit me even once. So here, let's keep going towards our icon. And I always follow pretty much the trail, because I don't want to waste time climbing stuff. But then, right in front of me, between the icon and my cursor, there's Mount Hylia. And I saw at the top there was something intriguing at the top. So I decided to try to climb it to see if there's anything interesting up there. So yeah, that piqued my interest a little bit. And as I get up, I spot the old man. I wonder what he's doing there, so I talk to him. And alright. Yappin'. What are you doing there, old man? And I get the warm doublet, so here my excitement peaks out of proportion, because now I've got equipment that nullifies cold. So I don't need to rely on food anymore. So that is an amazing reward. That gets me super pumped. Amazing reward. Then I spotted a Korok puzzle right between Mount Hylia and the shrine, but I don't know yet that it is a Korok puzzle, and it's a new type of Korok puzzle that I've never done before, so there's a little peak in difficulty. Mental difficulty mostly, but also a bit physical, because I need to understand how to pick up a rock and bring it to the right place. Let's keep going. And now I see the shrine right in front of me, and there's nothing on the way, so it's clearly just there that I need to go, and that's the main purpose. But as I run toward it, you can see that my excitement that I got from my warm doublet is slowly diminishing. But before I get bored, I get boulders thrown to me. So, and I have enemies right in front of me. So that managed to bring it back up a little bit. And now I keep going and go towards the shrine. After picking up some steak, of course. Here you start hearing the music of the shrine, so that starts building up the excitement. And here we are. Yay. So yeah, now the whole loading sequence is starting, so my excitement diminishes a little bit, unfortunately. Some will say that the loading screens are not the game's fault, but no, it's part of the game experience. If I need to go through a long loading, it will affect me as a player, no matter what. So here, same old, same old. Yeah, I've seen that cutscene, I've seen that cutscene, I don't care. So here it drops even more. Cryonis. That's interesting. Now it gets back my interest. So now puzzle. I need to solve a puzzle to get there. It's a super simple puzzle, but I need to understand the new mechanics. So it's like a 20 or 30. Here, I try to do the exact same thing as I did before. So I raise the block before the gate. I try to get up, I realize it doesn't work, so I break the thing, and that's super important. As I break the block, the cursor is already positioned right under the gate to show me that it will grow under it. And again, that is on purpose. It's really cleverly done. It teaches me a new function of the power I just got without stating it clearly. It just shows it to me. That's a concept, you know, in narrative, there's show don't tell, where they want characters to act their emotions rather than tell them to the reader. Well, in video games, you can do the same thing with game mechanics, and that is very clever. So here I open the gate, so I get a little boost in excitement. And now I have a guardian. He's not... He breaks the pace a little bit to give me something else to do, but he's not very challenging, so I just get by. Now, other small puzzle, but that one is very easy. And now, as I get to the monk, I spot a chest in the wall. So now I'm a bit more excited because I find myself clever finding it. So even if the challenge was super low, the excitement was a bit high because I got excited about being clever more than I was about the difficulty itself or the reward itself, which was pretty boring actually. Let's keep going. Alright, so now I arrive at the monk. I interact with him. And usually, seeing the same cutscene again would drop my excitement, but now I know it's the final one, so it raises the excitement. And now I got my final spirit orb, so I'm really happy about it. Now the excitement drops a little bit during the loading screen, of course, but again, I'm anticipating the end of that old quest. And here I get interrupted by Old Man. Normally I would be pissed of being interrupted by Old Man, but this time around, I'm assuming he's gonna tell me that it's over and give me my final reward, so I don't mind it much, and I'm actually a bit interested and excited about it. Here. Ooh. And when he vanishes, it's kind of a cool effect and gives me a bit of surprise. And now I've got a mental challenge of trying to figure out where my destination should be. So we need to make a cross with the shrines that locates the Temple of Time. So I will put myself a marker there. And then I try to figure out where is the closest teleport point and decide to fast travel. So now we've got a little loading. Now I'm anticipating the arrival at the Temple of Time, so I'm a bit excited about it. So this is a place I recognize and I know, so it's a bit boring, so my interest is a bit diminishing at this point. But I'm still excited because I know I'm gonna get something new at the temple, and I haven't explored the temple yet because I was just following my objectives. Oh, but here, when I arrive where I already was, I spot the rubbles, the bumpable rubbles that I couldn't interact with earlier. So that was a great tease before, showing me something that I couldn't do anything with. And now that I have my bums, I instinctively know what to do with it. So that's a small puzzle, mental and physical, because as I'm stupid, I'm trying to throw my bombs from too far because I'm afraid to get too close. So I tried 2 times and then realized that I need to get close. Kaboom. And I get a chest. An opal! That's my first opal, so I'm kind of... that's cool. I'm excited a bit. And now, the temple. Okay, so now I get sidetracked, of course, because there's a jar. I see the shiny, so that attracted my interest. And now I get sidetracked towards the chest, which I'm pretty happy about because it's fun. It's a nice bow. It's a stronger bow than I have, so that's pretty cool. So of course, I keep breaking jars, and now towards the shiny. Again, no icon, no objective, it's just super clear. And now is the tutorial for the upgrades. So there I will learn how to get upgrades, both for my health and my stamina. And I've got a super small mental challenge because I need to choose which one I want. So that keeps me engaged. And of course I get super excited because I get my first health upgrade. Oh, old man. Where are you? Ooh, he's at the top. So I need to reach the old man at the top of the temple. I'm still super interested. I want to see what's there and what he's gonna give me. Here, I try to climb, but then I realize that my stamina won't allow it and that I'm blocked at the top. So I decide to get down, look around, but I spot the ladder over here. So now I decide to take the ladder, so the difficulty drops drastically. But the excitement raises because I'm almost there. So now I spot the king, spoiler alert, I spot the old man in the tower and decide to just run to him. And now, cutscene starts. That's a place to start a cutscene. Now I'm excited, I'm pumped, I'm ready to get a story told to me and have a little breather after all that.
To show you who I truly am. I was King Rome Bosphorus Hyrule. I was the last leader of Hyrule. A kingdom which no longer exists. The Great Calamity was merciless.
Oh.
It devastated everything in its path. Lo, a century ago. It was
He keeps talking, but he keeps my interest.
And since that time,
It still lowers a little bit, but I'm still intrigued at what he says.
Overwhelm you while your memory was still fragile. So rather than that, I thought it best to assume a temporary form. Forgive me. I think you are now ready. Ready to hear what happened
Ooh.
100 years ago.
So now I think I'm gonna know what's going on, so my interest
To know
peaks.
Calamity Ganon's true form, one must know the story from an age-long past. The Demon King was born into this kingdom, but his transformation into malice created the horror you see now. Stories of Ganon were passed from generation to generation.
Okay, showing the mural
Legends
kind
and
of
fairy tales.
lowers my excitement.
But there was also a prophecy. The signs of a resurrection of Calamity Ganon are clear, and the power to oppose it lies dormant beneath the ground. We decided
Oh,
to heed the
Sheikaz.
prophecy
I see
to gather
Sheikaz for the
experts
first
from
time,
large areas
so
of
here the
land.
interest rises a bit.
It wasn't long before we discovered several ancient relics made by the hands of our distant ancestors. These relics, the divine beasts, were giant machines piloted by warriors. We also found the Guardians, an army of mechanical soldiers who fought autonomously. This coincided with ancient legends, oft repeated.
Okay, back to the mural.
We also learned of a princess with a sacred
Zelda.
path, and her appointed knight
And the music.
chosen by the sword
So
that seals
it gets
the
a little bump.
darkness. It was they who sealed Ganon away using the power of these ancient relics. 100 years ago, there was a princess set to inherit a sacred power and a skilled knight at her side. It was clear that we must follow our ancestors' path. We selected 4 skilled individuals from across Hyrule and tasked them with the duty of piloting the divine beasts.
Okay, so it keeps my interest, even though he
With
talks.
Princess as
He
their
show a lot
commander,
of stuff.
we dubbed these pilots champions, a name that would solidify their unique bond.
But it still lowers a bit as time goes on.
Her appointed knight and the rest of the champions were on the brink of sealing away Ganon.
But then, to get back my attention, they show Ganon attacking the castle.
Ganon was cunning, and he responded with a plan beyond our imagining.
And the destruction of Hyrule.
He appeared from deep below Hyrule Castle, seized control of the Guardians and the divine beasts, and turned them against us.
So yeah, seeing Castle Town getting destroyed, that peaks up my my excitement.
The appointed knight bravely collapsed while defending the princess. And thus, the kingdom of Hyrule was devastated absolutely by Calamity Ganon. However, the princess survived to face Ganon alone.
Yeah, and now we see Zelda unleash a Kamehameha with the Triforce, so that again gets me excited.
The fate of Hyrule rests with you.
And now black screen, so the interest drops a little bit. And now Rome starts talking a lot, so
And
it
the courageous
flatlines.
knight who protected her right up to the very end. That knight was none other than you, Link. You fought valiantly when your fate took an unfortunate turn. And then you were taken to the Shrine of Resurrection. Here you now stand, revitalized 100 years later. The words of guidance you have been hearing since your awakening are from Princess Zelda herself. Even now, as she works to restrain Ganon from within Hyrule Castle, she calls out for your help. However, my daughter's power will soon be exhausted. Once that happens, Ganon will freely regenerate himself, and nothing will stop
Blah
him
blah
from
blah. Now I'm
consuming
starting
our
to zone
land.
out. You can see the interest
Considering that I
diminishes.
could not save my own king,
When people talk
I
for
have
too
no right
long,
to ask
they
this of
start
Link.
losing my interest.
But I am powerless here. You must save her, my daughter, and do whatever it takes to annihilate Ganon. Somehow, Ganon has maintained control over all 4 divine beasts, as well as those guardians swarming around Hyrule Castle. I believe it would be quite reckless for you to head directly to the castle at this point. I suggest that you make your way east out to one of the villages in the wilderness.
So now he starts talking about the objective and mentions Kakariko village, so that piques up my interest a bit.
She will tell you more about the path.
And he talks about Impa, so now my interest raises a lot.
Consult the map on your Sheikah slate for the precise location of Kakariko village. Make your way past the twin summits of the dueling peaks. From there, follow the road as it proceeds north.
Now he's starting to get into too much explanation, so it drops a little bit. And now I get the Paraglider! So yeah, now I'm super excited by the Paraglider. So yeah, that was the Paraglider, so yeah. And now Rome disappears. So I'm free to roam around a little bit. I see a chest, so I pick it up. Now, ooh, the strongest bow by far that I've seen yet. So that increases my my excitement. So now I try to figure out where to go. And yay! First Paraglider! So that's super exciting. Yeah, the bow was here actually. And that is the Paraglider, where I'm just excited to use it for the first time. So here I've got a little puzzle. I don't know why my my difficulty chart kind of broke, it seems, at the end. But it's not a problem. It's that was just a 10 in both. So let's keep going. Let's keep going. So now I jump off the cliff. And we're about to get to Hyrule, so my excitement is at the peak. Then I drop down. And I couldn't be happier. Now I'm at the all-time peak of excitement. I just arrived at Hyrule Castle. I'm free to explore as I want. Life is good. So yeah, that was the breakdown of Breath of the Wild. I hope you liked it. We can go back and have a little look at how it looks at the end. So yeah, at the end of the game, the end of the prologue, I'm at an all-time peak of excitement. I got my Paraglider. I'm ready to explore the world. I'm left out to go free. And yeah, the game is, that's why it's amazing. And that's why the prologue is probably the best prologue I've seen in a video game during the last decade. And it hasn't, I don't think it hasn't been beaten yet. Elden Ring comes close. Tears of the Kingdom comes close. But in general, yeah, nothing was as well tutorialized and as well paced as that. And what is brilliant about it is the aspect, the fact that it's an open world. So as it is an open world, it doesn't, like you can't know for sure that the player is gonna take a path or another. So now you need to place everything in your world to accommodate any entry point and every path that the player could take. So that's, and that type of pacing works no matter where you are on the Great Plateau. It's always almost perfect. So as you can see, what I mean by perfect pacing is, if you look at the emotional intensity curve, it always peaks. It never either up or down, but it never flatlines. There's very, very little flatlines. There's always something to keep my interest going. And there's never too much time spent below zero. Actually, there's almost never anywhere on the line that goes below zero. So I'm never frustrated, annoyed, or bored during the first hour of the game. There are two little points where it goes a little bit below zero, but then it finds a way to get back my interest right after that. There are other games where it goes very low below zero and remains under zero for a long time. We'll have a look at one next. So yeah, you can see that every peak that you have, every up peak is correlated to something, either a gameplay variety. So here I have a peak, it's the first fight that I have, or one of the first fight that I have. The real first fight that I have here also has a peak that is here. And you can also see that the difficulty peaks will engage, will create excitement, will generate excitement. So here is the meeting with my first guardian. So that gets me super excited. And it doesn't overstay its welcome to become frustrating or annoying. And don't get me wrong, the game as a whole is not perfect. And there are frustrating, annoying, and boring elements in the old game, but this is really focusing on the prologue and the first hour when you're playing for the first time. So yeah, everything correlates. The rewards, every time you get a reward, you get a peak of excitement. Every time you get a new type of gameplay, or any type of gameplay, you get a peak of excitement. Even during the cutscenes, they manage to find peaks of excitement. So you have a peak when you see... when the flashback starts, well, when the cutscene starts at first, because it's a reward for completing your first objective, and you're intrigued to know what's going on, and then you've got a peak when the flashback starts, and then you've got a peak when the castle gets under attack, and then a peak when Zelda unleashes a Kamehameha, and then it starts flatlining when Rome starts talking too much, but then he gets back your interest by talking about Kakariko Village, and then he gets even more of your interest when giving you the paraglider. And then you use the paraglider yourself, and it just keeps into increasing, because this one is the first use of a paraglider, so it's super exciting, but here is the use of the paraglider to get out of the plateau, so it just explodes the anticipation and excitement of getting to Hyrule Kingdom for the first time. So yes, it's expertly made, and even though it's an open world with a lot of systemic element, nothing is left to chance, and nothing is random in the way it's placed in the world. Everything is thought through and placed perfectly in the world to make sure the player gets through enough element to keep a steady pacing and always keep interest peaked. Even tutorials, which are usually very annoying, are placed in spots where you can either won't be too frustrating, or either after getting the tutorial, they pique your interest right away. Like here is a really bad tutorial, because it's a tutorial that freezes you in place and forces you to do a specific action, but even though there is a little dip when it happens, it very quickly releases the tension by making you excited to get to get to the next point. So yes, it's very, very well done. The game is amazing. The prologue is pretty much perfect for what it needs to do, and that's why Breath of the Wild is a masterpiece, and that's why that prologue is a reference for every level designer out there. So that will be it for this breakdown of Breath of the Wild's prologue, and let me know in the comments what you think, if you spotted things that I haven't, and then if you want to see more, be sure to let me know, like the video, and subscribe if you want to see when I'm gonna put the next one. And the next one isn't gonna be as glorious as this one. Because, yeah, it's gonna be a, let's just say, a more underwhelming venture. So thanks for watching, everyone, and as always, see you next time.